study one-dimensional heat equation and its analytical solution. Heat equation is a partial differential equation. The theory of the heat equation was first developed by Joseph Fourier in 1822 for the purpose of modeling of how a quantity such as heat diffuses through a given region. There are various applications of heat equation in mathematics, physics and various other fields of science. In probability theory, the heat equation is connected with the study of random walks, Brownian motion, and the heat equation has applications in Black-Scholes equation in financial mathematics, and it has also applications in image analysis. Now we actually understand the phenomena of the heat flow in a uniform rod. You can see here, suppose a uniform rod and the flow of heat in it. Suppose this is a rod and it has length L. On one edge the value of x is equal to L, and on the other edge the starting edge is x is equal to 0. Now you can see this is a whole rod and the value of x here are 1, 2 up to x is equal to L, and we can say that the value of L can be equal to 80. Alright, so as I say that uh, x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 80, so I say a number L. Alright, and the basic equation means the first equation of the heat equation is this one: partial derivative of u with respect to t, partial derivative of t is equal to d some constant, where d is the diffusivity constant, and square partial derivative of u with respect to the x square, and I title it PD1, partial differential equation 1 here, okay, so that we can reference in our further slides. And these are the boundary conditions. Alright, suppose we are talking about, as we are talking about the heat flow in uniform rod, so this rod is heated, okay, and these are the boundary conditions. The boundary conditions say that when the value of x here u0, the value of x is equal to 0 is in the rod, the temperature is equal to 0, and when you see other edge the temperature is also 0, means the temperature here is 0 and here is 0, while this is heated with 100 temperature. Yeah, so suppose this is heated and you place ice on these edges like this is ice here also. All right, so now when you place the ice on both ends, this the heat in the rod is starting to cool, okay, the temperature will come down. All right, so initially what we say that on the boundaries these are the condition that the temperature is equal to 0, here also the temperature is equal to 0 when on its start here x is equal to 0, and the end of the rod here L is equal to 80 or x is equal to L, so here is also temperature 0. There is also given an initial condition that what is the behavior of the heat inside the rod. Suppose we say that rod is heated and the behavior of heat can be seen as a curve of this, like this, okay, so this is the initial condition. So if this is the curve, means heat is above the, here is the temperature 100, okay, this is a 100 temperature, so this will come down by time, it will take some time, 3 or 4 seconds or 10 seconds, finally this curve will be like this. Okay, so we go to the next slide, and in this video we are talking about the analytical solution of heat equation, while the heat equation is also approximated, means numerical methods are applied so that a solution can be obtained. So in this video especially we are talking about the analytical solution of heat equation. For its analytical solution there are three steps, okay, to solve it. There are steps to solve it. So step 1 is apply the separation of variable technique. Separation of variable technique is a technique that is applied on the partial differential equations or on the differential equations so that a solution can be obtained. So we will apply a technique called separation of variables. This one, okay, remember. Yeah, in the next step we determine the solutions that satisfy boundary conditions. We will also bring in our work these boundary conditions that says that starting is the temperature is 0, on the end of the rod the temperature is also 0. So we will have to take on these boundary conditions, and we will be using Fourier analysis to obtain solution that satisfy the initial conditions. So we will also see this initial condition. As I said you, this initial condition says that what is the behavior of the heat flow in the rod. So this is some sort of function f of x. As I said you that this function may be comprising of sine function or something, suppose in this shape. So these are three steps that we will complete here to get the analytical solution of heat equation. So we are starting from the step 1, separation of variables, this one, okay, separation of variables. Assume the solution. First we assume the solution of the heat equation. The solution of this one is this equation 2, okay. This is the assumption, you assume the solution. It is not solved yet, but we assume the solution in the terms of x and t. T is for time and x is for the special nodes. So this is called the temporal function and this is called the special function in this assumed solution. Now according to PDE1, which is PDE1, this one, okay, the first heat equation. So according to the PDE1, the partial derivatives of equation 2, if we take derivatives of this with respect to t, is this subscript t shows that this is equal to what? Partial derivative of t, partial derivative of u with respect to t, this one, okay, as we have already written it that uh, uh, in the previous slide, this one. So this is the partial derivative. So when you take u subscript t as a partial derivative of u with respect to t, we give a dash sign here, this one, okay, to the t, and write the equation. And same for the other part of the heat equation, that is the partial derivative of u square over partial derivative of x square. So we come with the uxx, means first we take the derivative of this with respect to x, and then again we take the derivative of this with respect to x, and we place two dashes here on the capital X and write this equation, okay. So we can substitute equation 3 and 4 in PDE1 as follows. means if we have titled it equation 3 and equation 4 here. So in other words, our heat equation has now become what? Ut is equal to Uxx, or I can say in the previous slide that here I can also write this as Ut here subscript T is equal to Uxx, this like this one, and I place D here. Okay, yeah. So this equation is equal to this one. So we have the value for this and this, so we substitute here these values here. This is we have Ut here, okay, and is equal to Uxx on the other side, D Uxx, this one. So after substituting these values, which values we have here, uh, this and this, as in the previous slide, we have Ut is equal to this and Uxx is equal to this. So we substitute in the PD1 and we write down in some format. We cross multiply the t terms. How do we cross multiply? We cross multiply, we take this t here, t dash here, and cross multiply t of t and d here, okay, and we hold x double dash of x here and cross multiply this x of x, and when we arrange these we make it equal to minus lambda. Okay, this is the this is for getting the analytical solution. All right, so we title this equation 6. From equation 6 we get two ordinary differential equations. How do we get ordinary differential equations? What we do, we cross multiply x of x with this and bring on the left hand side, so we get this equation that we say equation 7, and also we cross multiply dt with this and place on the left hand side and we get this. Now we will separately solve both of the equations. So we said this is OD1 ordinary differential equation 1 and this is OD2 ordinary differential equations 2. So, because we say that we will get two ordinary differential equations, so we say this is equation 7 and we say this is equation 8. Step 2, determine the solutions that satisfy boundary conditions. This is those boundary conditions that we discussed earlier, that on the edges of the rod there the temperature will be 0. So you can see here, recall the assumed solution in equation 2 is given as follows. We have the assumed solution u of x comma t is equal to x of x t of t. Now we take the boundary conditions according to this and we substitute means those values here in this equation. So we get what you can remember that we the given boundary conditions were u0 t, when the value of x is equal to 0, that is equal to 0. I said you that we had placed the ice on one edge and ice also on the other edge. So when the value of x is 0, the temperature is 0. So we, on the place of this x, we insert 0 here, and also ult on the other side. If we say that if we place L on the x as its value, then we have the temperature is 0 also for all t. Okay, now we solve ODE7. ODE7 is this one. Alright, as I said you, we have obtained two ordinary differential equations and we will separately solve them. So we take this one, equation 7, and write it down here. So here it is. But before solving equation 7, from equation 9 we obtain x of 0 is equal to 0. Now from equation 9, this is equation 9, how did we get this? We got it from here, because if I say that t of 0 goes uh, on the other side, means cross multiply, this will be 0 as, so x of 0 is equal to 0, we get this from equation 9. The solution of ODE7 is given as follows. Now the solution of this equation, this one, is this one. Alright, so when this is the solution of that equation, it means that, I mean to say that we don't go into detail that how did we obtain this solution, just we are looking, this is the solution of the previous equation 7, this one. Alright, so what we need to focus on is that we need to focus a boundary condition that we have obtained, x of 0 is equal to 0, and here we substitute that x of 0 is equal to, whole solution is equal to 0. Alright, so wherever we find the x, we put 0 there, and you can see that sine 0 is 0, so b into 0 is equal to 0, and cos 0 you get value 1, so a is equal to 0, the value of a is equal to 0. Now we apply x of L is equal to 0 in the solution 11 here in this one, and we see that when we insert L, we get square root lambda L, and b sine square root lambda L is equal to 0. Now a is already 0, we know that a is equal to 0, so as we know that a is equal to 0, so we end up with the following, and we are left with b sine square root lambda L. Okay, so here we see we cannot make b is equal to 0. Okay, because if we make b is equal to 0, this will whole be 0. Alright, so we don't get the value of the b, so we say that this is, we have to see this, observe here that we say let's find out the eigenvalue, this is eigen function. Okay, and eigenvalue is this one, we say that lambda L is equal to n pi, and lambda n then becomes square root lambda n then becomes n pi L, so we get this basically, or we can say if we square on both sides we get this one. So one we get the value a is equal to 0, and other we get the value lambda n is equal to n pi L. Now we combining the special function in equation 11 for f of x, we get this one. When we combine this, we write this, we know that a is equal to 0. So this whole term diminishes, alright, and we are left with this one. So square root lambda L, lambda square root lambda is equal to n pi L. So we write down this here. Okay, this one here. Alright, so in the next question we get x of x is equal to b sine n pi over L x, you can see here. Alright, now we solve the ODE8. ODE8 is here, this one. we were solving, we had started solving two ordinary differential equation. We solved this and now we are solving equation 8. So now we solve the ODE 8, and this is t dash of t plus d lambda t of t is equal to 0, and we have its solution given as, again we don't go into the detail how this was solved, but its solution is bn e power d2 d square n square pi square over l square t. All right, so now we combine the equation 12, this one and this one together. Why? Because we, the assumed solution was this. Okay, all right, so we combine these two together, equation 12 and equation 13. When we combine these two, we get this one, b sine n pi l x bn e power minus d square n square pi square l square. Here I place the square. Okay, this one. All right, so further we simplify, because this is also a constant and this is also a constant, so we combine these as bn, one constant here. Okay, and write b sine n pi over lx n into e power minus d square n square pi square over l square t. Okay, so u n x t is equal to this one. We have obtained almost the solution. Now we need to satisfy the initial conditions as well. Initial conditions, you know that initial conditions are, if you go back and you see that the initial conditions were given like this: x comma 0 is equal to some f of x, this one. Okay, this one, and the value of the x is, x belongs to where? X belongs to the, x belongs to this one, 0 comma n. Okay, so 0 comma l here. So it gives us that starting behavior of the heat, the when the t is equal to 0, time is 0, and heat is rod is heated, you know. Okay, so this could be a curve like this. So we write uxt summation of the unxt, and n is equal to 1. Here we will be starting from 1 to infinity, and here also n is equal to 1. Okay, so unxt is what? This is this one. So we place the value of unxt here. Okay, you can see. All right, this is d2 here. Recall the initial condition. Ux0 is equal to f of x implies t is equal to 0 when time is equal to 0, and if we place the value of t as 0, and where we find t we place the value 0, and when we do this, then bn sine n pi l x e power minus d2 d square n square pi square, the on the place of the t we have 0 here, so this becomes e power 0, e power 0. Okay, and e power 0 is equal to what? E power 0 is equal to 1, so this term diminishes. All right, so ux0 gives us the n is equal to 1 infinity bn sine n pi over lx, and this diminishes, and we are left with 1 here. This is equal to f of x. Now we need to find this Bn. Okay, so in Fourier terms, okay, in Fourier terms, the Bn can be calculated as follows. This is, you place the f of x, and the f of x is 100. Suppose we give the initial curve like this, so 100 sine pi x over 80. The value of L is equal to 80 here. All right. Okay. And when we are going to obtain Bn, we will have to solve this expression, this one. So we place f of x as 100 sine pi x over 80, and we solve, we get the value b1, b2, and so on. All right. And but what we do, we are comparing the coefficients. What we do, we assume a function f of x is equal to 100 sine pi x over 80, and we place it here that the summation of bn sine n pi x l x is equal to f of x. We compare it. Okay. All right. When we compare, why do we compare? Because here, by applying initial condition, we get this is equal to f of x. Okay. And when we place f of x is equal to 100 sine 80, then we place here the value of the f of x, that is the function f of x 100 sine pi x over 80 is equal to, and we uh, try to write the summation b1 sine n is equal to 1 into pi over 80x, and plus b2, the value of n then becomes 2, and sine, the value of n is 2 into pi 80, and plus b3, the value of n becomes 3, and 3 pi over 80 x plus this one. So if we compare the coefficients, we see that on the left hand side we have just sine pi x 80. There is no 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi or anything, just we have pi x. So from these terms, which is that term that equals this, compares with this? This is this one, first term, because here it is pi x, we can write it here pi x over 80, that is exactly same as this one. All right, this one is equal to this one. So as there is nothing else on the left hand side, so there is no such term with sign that has 2 pi over 80 in its angle. So we say that we cross this, we delete this, and also we finish this. Okay, and we say that we are left with this one, because, and obviously the value of b1 becomes 100 here, you can see. All right, and b2 b3 is equal to 0, because these terms are not found on the left hand side, so that we can compare those. The comparison becomes only the first term of this side and this one. So when we are left with this one, b1 is equal to 100, so this the whole expression, that we had the solution of the analytical solution, this one, we can write 100 sine pi over 80 x, and e power minus d square pi square 80 square t, because the value of n is equal to 1. All right. Here we see the plotting of f of x. This is apart from this. All right, because we are just plotting this function, that we say that we, what is the initial condition, this is given as the initial condition. The initial conditions means what is the behavior of the flow of heat in the rod at t is equal to 0. T is equal to 0 here is f of x. Okay, so f of x is this 100 sine pi x over at. So in this figure we are analyzing rod temperature through the function, this one. Alright, that is initial condition. So initially the behavior of the rod is, you can see this is a curve like this, means here the value of t is equal to 0. The value of t is equal to 0. Value of t is equal to 0. When value of t is equal to 0? When the rod has the 100 temperature here. Okay, so the curve of this is like, the heat is like this. In the next, we now observe the plotting the analytical solution of heat equation, this one. This is the analytical solution of the heat equation. So you can see here in this figure that initially the curve is same like this. Okay, the curve is same like previous one. So here I say that this is t is equal to 0 here. Okay, so as time increases the temperature is cooling down. Okay, so if I say that 1 second has passed, the t is equal to 1 here, and as other second passes also t is equal to, also t is equal to 2 here, and so on. So the temperature goes down as time increases. Alright, so a stage will come that the temperature will be exactly a straight line like this at some t is equal to some value. Alright, 10, suppose 15 seconds or whatever, any value could be like this. The temperature will come down. Okay, so this was about the analytical solution of heat equation. In the next lecture we will study about the approximate solution of the heat equation. We will be discretizing the heat equation. Thank you so much.